I am really excited about this project, and I want to just especially thank Chris Van Hollen and Ben Cardin for the $3 million earmark. Thank you very much. And I want to give thanks to Governor Hogan, who's not here, but for providing us $10 million to also start on this project, so for the infrastructure here. And the White Flint Partners and the Pike District Group and Ann from USG and Dr. Williams from Montgomery College and everybody else is here. Jay Brinson from Federal Realty. That's a lot of people here, and thank you so much. I'm not going to introduce everybody over again. A few things I want to say about this. First of all, this project came about from a really long journey, and I know some people heard me talking about this, I think 3 years ago, not too long after I'd first gotten elected. I got elected right after Amazon didn't arrive here. And I thought, so what made this place attractive and what happened with Amazon? And the first thing we realized, we didn't lose Amazon because we bid too low. We lost Amazon because Amazon was looking for academic support. They were looking for a university presence that would advance their goals and provide them the talent they needed to grow. So money doesn't buy everything, and talent may well buy a lot more than we give it credit for. And while we didn't get that right, it made me think about what should we be doing over here? What do we need to do? This area can hold 11 to 15 million square feet of development. And it occurred to me that this might be a perfect location for building another center in life sciences in Montgomery County. It is a lot of things that you don't get in office parks. It's sitting on a metro. It is next door to NIH. It's next door to the Henry Jackson School over in Montgomery, over by the Montgomery Mall area. There are enormous assets that we have here. And if we can capitalize on those assets, we could build something really significant. So I began a tour of life sciences companies. And what I saw when I talked to people in the life sciences companies was a transition from the world of wet labs to a world of gray labs, from everything being done physically on plates and running things through incubators to scientific discoveries being made on computers and research being done in computers. And I'm old enough to remember when nobody talks about computers and they were doing biology, everything was in a lab. Everything took time. And lab experiments went good, sometimes they went bad. It was a long process. And AI, machine learning have revolutionized the speed of discovery in the scientific world. And when you look at the visualizations, I'd been seen a display of somebody mapping a protein. What was the shape of the protein? They did this with radiocrystallography. They bombarded it with X-rays. The X-rays scattered, and then they used massive computers to reconstruct the shape of a molecule. And this took them months to reconstruct the shape of a molecule. People do this now almost in real time. And why that's significant is when you're looking at a spike protein and you want to block its ability to attach to a human cell, you want to find something that fits over the spike protein. The ability to capture the images of proteins or whatever you're using as candidates to block that spike protein goes a hell of a lot faster if you can use a computer to find the image that has the right shape that'll lock onto the virus you're trying to block. You can do that with far faster than you could ever do it the old way. And that's probably no small reason why we had viruses to deal with COVID as quickly as we did. So I took away from that this is something, a growing field, and I was talking to scientists who had learned this as senior scientists, not as kids when they were going to school, and thinking about what the potential was to bring this in an educational program and a research program that would make this possible to advance the field of science was something that caught my imagination. And I heard from the companies here that said they needed talent, and they weren't getting the talent that they needed, and that we were the only jurisdiction, the only major life sciences center not anchored by a life sciences research, graduate level research program. So I did a tour of universities that started after I had been talking to the scientific community. I visited Dr. Perman up in Baltimore. I was in College Park with Dr. Pines and his predecessor. I was at Freeman Hrabowski at UMBC. And I talked to them about the programs they had, and I kept asking people, can you bring something to Montgomery County? I need a graduate program in Montgomery County focused on the life sciences. And I talked about that for a long time. And I guess a little over a year ago, we signed an MOU with the University of Maryland Education System, university system, to bring graduate level research to Montgomery County. We didn't know what it was going to be, but we knew we needed to do something. And then almost a year ago, Dr. Varshney called my office and said, I want to talk to you. And I said, yes. And you came up and did this amazing presentation. And it was eye-opening. The visualization of things, not just computing data, which you and I would never see anything but the result, but the ability to visualize molecules interacting with each other was just mind-blowing. And you convinced me that this was absolutely the right direction to go in. So we've been working on this for almost a year now to bring this to fruition. And I'm really excited to be here because we're going to be on the cutting edge of changing science. We're going to be able to provide support to the institutions in this county, to the companies in this county, and we're going to become a magnet for more companies. The university will tell you more, but they've talked about who comes along with the university. It's not just them, but it's the kind of scientists and researchers who are going to want to be at this institute and all the connections they bring with us. This is going to have a significant impact on life sciences development in Montgomery County, and that's important. Montgomery County doesn't have a lot of industries. We're not an industrial center. We don't make a lot of stuff here, but our preeminent industry is truly the life sciences industry, and our ability to grow that industry, our ability to become #1 in the country, which is my goal, is a reasonable goal, and it's something that's going to bring jobs. It's going to bring high-paid, decent jobs to this county. And the other thing it does is if you succeed in something like this, other people will want to be here. When we finally shed our reputation as not being able to develop businesses here, when we can show people that we can put this together, build a major project, work with a research university, and we see the companies that are coming here, this is going to be significant for Montgomery County. And there are a couple of things that strike us right away. It's not just life sciences. When I talked to the university folks, they talked about the request from Marriott and Choice Hotels to be able to use AI in their programs. And so there's another economic aspect of supporting the hospitality industry in Montgomery County. And then there's the AI industry, because there really is an AI industry. Montgomery County has a number of AI companies, and they continue to grow as AI gets implemented pretty much everywhere that we're looking. And those companies are going to want to be around the university that produces talent. I saw that in College Park and the research institute, what you've got over there, and then the incubator that's next door. I saw it when I was at UMBC, and Dr. Abrowski had this computing program, and they had spun off an incubator, and there are companies starting up in an incubator. It's going to be the same thing here in Pike and Rose in the Pike District. This is going to significantly offer opportunities for growth in multiple lanes in Montgomery County. And that's why I'm happy to be here. That's why I'm so glad we've managed to put this together and take it to the finish line. And I want to thank everybody who's been a part of this, whether the federal folks who have helped us, Chris, the persistence of the university people to continue to think about it until we figured out how to make this work. That's really, really critically important. The fact that, you know, the zoning that got put in place for Amazon will now be used for something, frankly, more exciting than Amazon, and in the long term, more important than Amazon. So I'm glad to see that we've set the stage for this. There's a lot that can happen here, and it can happen quickly. So I think this is really, really important. We've got to remember that North Bethesda, you're close to NIST, NIH, FDA, Walter Reed, the Naval Medical Research Center, and oh, by the way, it's not that far a drive from the FDA. So we have all the components of a thriving system in Montgomery County here today. This is going to give us a center. We had a presentation from JLL. They showed us an overhead map of how much science is in the 355 corridor, I-270 corridor. It is amazing. It doesn't have a center. We're going to have a center, and it's going to be in a metro. And believe me, the metro is going to make a difference in our ability to attract people here and do business here. So I'll stop there. I just got to say I'm obviously excited. I am excited. This is, I think, really important for the county. And it's nice to, starting a new term and a new 4 years for everybody, to start it with something on a really positive note. So thank you all for coming, and I'll turn it back to Lorna.